the new improvements on Shifter. So the first thing we're gonna find is the new guide manager. It's probably the biggest UI thing that you are used to. That is gonna be the biggest change. So before we used to have this like colorful, like with little squares there. That was then there from version 1. So it was about time to change it. So we have this new guide manager, and it's split in 2 tabs. The first tab, it's the one that we already know, that it's the components one, and the second one is the templates one, that it's the guide templates, and we will talk about this in a few minutes. So here we have the guide tools that are also in the previous version. So we have the settings. So if we select any element, we can access to the settings and so on. We have the duplicate symmetry, and extract controls. We have also the build from selection, and then we have here the components list. So in order to apply a component, before we was using the red, the square, there was different colors, and now we don't have that. We just have here the components, and basically to start building something, you just need to double click, or just use the draw component here, or you can use also the right click. And I think my pen on the Wacom is not properly configured. Yes, exactly. So you can see here, draw component or refresh list, just in case we have some new stuff. We also have this new filter, quick filter. So if we are looking only for arms, so we can just quick search for arms. So we have all the arms here. And it's not like you can do combinations or anything, so just bear with that. And yeah, if you have any text like this, you can clear like that with the right click also. So I'm just gonna clean up this thing. So the first, let's say I'm creating these components, double click. It shows the interface here, the settings that we are used to. We have also an option here that we can uncheck, so the next time we build a new component, it's not popping the options anymore. So of course we can access with our favorite hotkey or just settings here. And probably one of the funniest or interesting features building new guides is the ability to drag and drop. So now we can just drag and drop, and it's gonna create guides. So for instance, if I drag another, like the neck, and the neck is gonna pop some, yeah, there, and another neck knit there, and I don't know, another arm, and so on. If we use a chain, obviously it's gonna ask you for this chain initialization. Then now it's also Qt, so you can just push enter, and it's gonna accept the enter. Before, you need to click actually the button. It was a little annoying. So that's it for the how you draw your guides. Yeah, one thing is, if you initialize the guide, so the first time, nothing on the scene, and you want to create the first one, you cannot drag and drop. That's a warning that is showing up here. It's nothing cached under the cursor, so the component cannot be drawn. So the first one you draw must be always double clicking or using the buttons or right click menu. Then you can start drag and dropping any other. And that's on purpose, because of course, if you drag and drop here in the middle, you don't want that draw something in the middle or starting a new guide. That's a design choice. Also, if you have your guide like this on the window, that it's hard to know which one it's gonna pick to be the parent. So let's see. Okay, it looks like it's doing a great job, like getting the depth of this scene. So the first one to come is the first to serve. But yeah, take care with that, because you never know. Like here, for instance, if I do another arm, I don't know which one is the parent. Probably it's the locator, but yeah, just take care with that. Okay, so that's for the components part. By the way, you can dock this anywhere now. So that's, of course, if you don't have the lock icon activated, it's nicer here. Okay, now we have the templates, and the templates, it's one of the things that it's new in mGear for Maya, but it was there on Softimage gear. That was the ability to serialize the guides, and this opens many possibilities how to use the guides and how to work with your rigs from here. So basically, templates is just taking the guide and serialize to a JSON file. So I'm just gonna do a quick example here with an ARM, so it's very simple. So the guide here, you can see that you have open, save as, clear, and guide. You can build, import, but you cannot not export from here. Indeed, export it's here on the shifter menu, but you can of course access here. And you can export and import the template. So that's the first. So you need to select the guide and export. So I'm just gonna put here ARM example. And that's it. It's very fast for one single component. And you can see you have a little timer here. It's less than wow, it's very fast indeed. And that's it. So now that we have this serialized thing, we can obviously import it from here. So let's the ARM again. Let me do something slightly different than the default one. So it's clearly that it's not reloading the guide, but doing something else, and just create symmetrical. So now I'm just gonna export again the ARM. By the way, the extension stands for serialized guide template, the SGT. And it's just a JSON file. We will check it in a few seconds. Okay, now, so we have the serialized ARM. I just can delete, and we can re-import it again. That's cool. So exactly where we left. But also we can do other stuff. Like for instance, we can build from the guide. Before it was only possible to build from selection, but now we can build from the template file. So we can just go here, and it's gonna build for us the rig without importing the guide. So this is like a really clean way to build your rigs, because you avoid to collect garbage if you're using like a Maya file. Sometimes, you know, you end up with nodes that doesn't delete or something like that, and it's a way more cleaner to do it. So let's dig a little bit on the example, the ARM. Okay, 1 second, just trying to examples, and here's the one that we just exported. So basically it's a JSON file that you can edit. You can edit it. Of course, you need to know what you're doing, but it's possible to edit manually. But if you don't want to edit manually, you have the guide explorer, so you can use this one, and it offers you a little interface. Very simple, very straightforward, but you can do some stuff here. For instance, in the guide root, we have the parameter values. That is the ones that set some of the information. And just very simple, you have the rig name here, and I'm just gonna call this ARM sample, for instance, like this. So right now, this is information. It's loaded here on the interface, but it's not really saving to your guide. That's important to know. So what you can do, it's from here, you can experiment with different values, and you can build from here. So it's very, very experimental. And you can see here is ARM sample. It's the one that I changed here. This is a little raw now, but you can do stuff. But yeah, like famous, not with big power comes big responsibility. So take care with that. You can break the rig with this. And of course, if you like the new name, you can use here the new save as, and you can save it. So you have a new ARM here. So save, you overwrite this one. And if I just use again the desktop here, so probably this is at the end. So you can see here, I just saved that. So that's it for the serialization. More things that you can do here. For instance, of course, you can just clear these, or I'm just going to import my pipette template. So now it's not included as a Maya file. Now the biped template and the quadruped template are already serialized, and you can import it. You can see it's drawing here quickly, and you have it there. And one interesting thing that you can do with this, apart of exploring and changing some of the data here, it's you can import partial. So that is very interesting, because let's say I want it's a probably a very too much simple example, but let's say I want to add the left arm from here to this character. So I just select here, select my parent here, which one will be, and then import partial. So it's gonna load this part of the guide, and if we check here the parenting, it's parented there, but also it's checking of course the index. So if this is left arm 0, and now I'm importing left arm 0, but cannot be to index 0 on the same guide. So it's scanning the let's say the parent guide, and it's gonna assign a new index if it's needed. So that's little things that does there, but can be very useful. And here this is a super simple example, but imagine if you you have a more complex character, or you have wings, for instance, and you have a bird, and you have later like a Pegasus, and then other animal that you have wings, or maybe an angel or something. So, and you want to reuse the wings from one to another. So this is a slightly easier way to do it. It's just get the guide that you want. And here it's only one component, but if this component have childs, all the childs will be pulled with him. So this is just like the insertion. So you cannot select multiple components, you select only one, and this one, it will get all his childs also when you import with the partial option. So that's one interesting thing that you can do with guides serialized. And other interesting thing that it's worth to note, it's you have a Diff tool here, and that's very important. This Diff tool now, it's just to print information, but if you go to the API, you can do more stuff with this. So right now here, what it's exposed is just a simple printing, and basically what it does, it's for instance, I'm just gonna check this, that is the biped template that we have, the default one. This is an example. Now it's called just samples, and I'm gonna compare with the other guide that I have, that it's from the data-centric workshop, the character that we use as an example, and we will compare what's going on there. So in order to do that, the first thing we need to do is open this guide. So I'm just gonna here, so it's not comparing with the scene guide, it's comparing with what we have load and another one. So this is what I'm gonna call the default biped template. So I'm gonna save it there, and just to be clear, I'm just opening here the one that I just exported, this one, and I want to use the other one to compare. So here is this little window and the data-centric character, and we can ask to missing guide components, extra guide components. So you can ask how many are missing, or how many I have more than the example that I'm using to compare. The components transformation, so it's important, it's a transformation, so means if it's not only translation, so it checks the full transformation, then the root settings, the component settings per setting, and the custom steps, if there's more or which difference are. Before run this, I'm just gonna open here. So one of the things on Charcoal is that doesn't edit until it finishes the run, so probably it's gonna take a few seconds, not too long. So here is the print report, and you can see there's a lot of difference. That's totally expected. So warning, the pre-custom step is different found. So import geo, the order is correct, of course, the other one doesn't have, so it's not a mismatch in the order, but just is missing this. So what is missing, and is this. Again, the information is a bit raw, it's in a dictionary, but I think it's very clear if you know how to read a little bit the dictionary, but you can see clearly it's completely different guide. And just for the sake of the example, I'm just gonna compare again with the biped template. So basically it's himself. So because it's difference means it's gonna show only difference, and you can see here it's not printing anything, means it's 100% equal. Of course, it's the same guide. So that's it for the templates. I don't forget anything. It's the open, save off, clear, and this it's of course you have this little information here with some instructions, and if you have a longer list of components or something, you can just collapse it here so it doesn't bother you. Okay, so that's it for the new component manager, or I'm sorry, guides manager, and let's move forward for the next video. See you. Bye bye.